This was absolutely the world's most dangerous swimming pool. A design flaw had caused the water flow to exceed 30 kilometers per hour, yet this man could swim freely in the deadly pool. In the water, he moved like a shark. The next second, he burst from the surface, ending his warm-up session. Just then, the colonel brought the latest report on Baki. When Yujiro learned his son had defeated a 100-kilogram praying mantis, he burst into laughter. To him, Baki had merely beaten an imaginary opponent. No matter how huge the mantis in his imagination, it was still fake, not even comparable to a real dog. Baki had anticipated his father's reaction. To rapidly improve his strength, he decided to kidnap the president in broad daylight, right under the noses of 100,000 security personnel. Everything Baki did was to get the president to send him to Arizona State Prison, home to Oliva, the man they said couldn't be contained. The president wanted to refuse, but faced with Baki's overwhelming power, he had no choice but to agree. Baki was quickly arrested. From detention to trial to final sentencing, the entire process took less than a day. After the long journey, Baki finally arrived at the prison. But before entering, prisoners first had to strip naked and line up to pass through metal detectors. Anyone caught with contraband would be shot immediately. Next came fingerprinting and retinal scanning, followed by oral cell samples to create complete prisoner profiles. After all these procedures, every prisoner's file ended up on the warden's desk. What Baki didn't expect was that Oliva, hearing of his arrival, couldn't wait to meet him. Baki soon followed the guards to the maximum security corridor. Acrylic walls stood every 10 meters, and the prisoners here were all extremely deranged. After passing through multiple checkpoints, Baki finally reached Oliva's cell. When he pushed open the door, Baki was completely stunned. The scene before him could only be described as palatial rooms full of priceless paintings and countless bottles of premium wine. It was more luxurious than a presidential suite. Oliva had heard about Baki's plan to challenge Yujiro Hanma, but he wasn't interested in the father-son showdown. What he found laughable was Baki wanting to use him as a sparring partner. Of the 7,642 criminals in this American prison, 7,641 wanted him dead, yet he remained the top dog. Hearing Oliva's words, Baki looked contemptuous. If this was about fighting, they could start anytime, anywhere. Without warning, Baki punched Oliva hard in the face. To his surprise, this fierce blow didn't harm Oliva at all. Faced with Baki's rudeness, Oliva wasn't angry. Instead, he told him to go practice with the prison's second strongest man first. Baki was soon taken to Mr. Second's cell. As Baki looked around, considering which bed to take, a dark figure suddenly called out his name. Baki was shocked. Mike Tyson was actually in this cell. Baki assumed he must be the prison's second strongest man, but Tyson quietly told him he didn't even rank in the top 10 here. He didn't want to risk his life fighting for status. Just then, an old man appeared, interrupting their conversation. He told them to sleep. Waking Mr. Second would mean trouble. At that moment, the bed behind them suddenly moved. A massive figure was stretching. Could this be the Mr. Second the old man had mentioned?